What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I want to take a look and listen to Senator Ron Johnson. He's going to be talking about the child tax credit. And I want to talk about this because reducing taxes is not a program. And that's what he's calling this. He's calling reducing taxes a program. And when you call things a program, government program, you have people that will look at it and say, oh, no, this is not good. It's a government program. But all we're talking about is reducing taxes. And most people are in favor of having their taxes reduced. And so we'll take a look and a listen to this video, and then we're going to talk about it. But first off, on this channel, we talk about financial news and what's going on in Washington, D.C. We also focus on Social Security, retirement, and what's going on when it comes to stimulus talks. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, if you see my name and a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's get right over to this clip. So I'll play the clip. I'll play the entire clip, and then we're going to talk about it. Here we go.
Today up north, you made that comment. I've never really felt it was society's responsibility to take care of other people's children in the context of child care. Do you want to expand on that? You got some blowback on that.
I think when I breathe, I get blowback. So I was asking a question. Somebody, basically, as I interpret the question, should we have another federal government program to provide child care? And I don't believe it's controversial to believe that it's probably the most important decision anybody makes is whether or not to have children. I don't think it's controversial to believe that it's parents' primary responsibility to raise their children, not somebody else's. I don't think it's controversial to be concerned that we're $29 trillion in debt. All this deficit spending has sparked 7% inflation. Concerned about how that 7% inflation is hurting the very people so many of these Democrat politicians are purporting to help: seniors on fixed income, people at the lower end of the income spectrum, parents struggling to try and raise their children. So, again, I just don't see the federal government solving too many problems, spending money they don't have. And I would also think it's not particularly controversial. I don't really want the federal government getting their starting to influence our children at an even earlier age. And there's controversy here. I think it shouldn't be a controversy. We shouldn't be teaching critical race theory to our children. I don't want to start having the federal government, because anything they fund, there are going to be strings attached. I don't want the federal government starting to indoctrinate our children even earlier.
Okay, so that was Senator Ron Johnson. Now you heard that last part about the critical race theory. What does that have to do with the child tax credit? That has nothing to do with the child tax credit. And so I don't know. I mean, that was just strange, that whole thing. But I'm not even going to focus on that. Let's focus on the child tax credit, because the government program. So you hear him saying this government program. We don't need more government programs. All we're talking about is a child tax credit, which is a tax cut for families. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about a government program. We're just talking about the American people being able to keep a little bit more of their money and not have to pay so much in taxes. That's all we're talking about. And I think that's fair. I think that people should be able to keep a little bit more of their money. Now, I agree more people should be able to keep more of their money. So if you have children, that's great. You can get this tax credit, but what about other people? What about people who are on Social Security, SSI, SSD, on a fixed income, retired, veterans? They should be able to keep a little bit more of their money as well. But don't call it a program, because it's not a program. This is a child tax credit. This is a tax cut. We should have tax cuts. And just to listen to politicians like Senator Johnson, and let's take a look. Let's look at his history here. How long has he been a senator? So looking here, Wikipedia information, 2010. Okay, so he's been a senator since 2010. Has he done anything to reduce the deficit? I can't see. Every year we're adding to the debt. And he's right. Every year we're adding to the debt. You've been there since 2010. You've been there 12 years. What have you done to reduce our deficit? Not much, because even when the Senate, when Republicans were in charge of the Senate, they didn't reduce the debt. You had President Trump. He's a Republican. They didn't reduce the debt. So when you're looking at this whole situation and you have these politicians coming out And I mean, the nerve of him to come out and say that, as far as a program, a government program, a tax cut is a government program, is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And so when I hear things like this, it really bothers me, because these politicians are just trying to, they think the American people are just not intelligent. They think that people don't catch what he's saying. And that's exactly what he's saying. He's saying that this child tax credit is a program, even though all it's doing is allowing you to have a little bit more money in your pocket because you don't have to pay as much in taxes. That's all it is. And it's just sad that politicians have gotten to this point. Of course, Senator Ron Johnson is running for re-election this year. So in 2022, he'll be running for re-election in Wisconsin. I hope people in Wisconsin pay attention to what he's saying. Because if every tax cut is a program, then guess what? The government's going to have a lot of different programs that are out there. All people want is a little bit more of their money. That's it. And the child tax credit would allow them to have that. And in the future, my hope is in the future that we start focusing on some of these other groups. So we start focusing on people on Social Security, have some type of a tax credit for them, some type of a tax cut for them. Now, I know not everyone on Social Security pays taxes, but that's fine. Have a credit, a fully refundable credit for them. So all they would have to do, just like the stimulus check, is put their information in and they get a little bit back every year. I don't see a problem in that. That's not a program. That is a situation where when you pay into something, when we're paying our taxes, we're getting a little bit more back. That's all that it is. And businesses do it all the time. You don't hear them calling that a government program. When businesses are getting tax breaks, tax cuts, they get it all the time. We know some corporations don't pay anything in taxes. Is that a government program because they're not paying anything in taxes? When you have companies that are getting bailed out, is that a government program? We saw the airline industry during the pandemic getting bailed out. Separate money set aside just for the airline industry. Billions of dollars. Billions of taxpayer dollars going to the airline industry. Is that a government program? So when we start looking at this, it's just, I mean, it's really sad. It's really sad that you have politicians coming out and saying stuff like that. And when we talked about the child tax credit and the support for the child tax credit, and it looks like we're probably going to have some type of a standalone bill for the child tax credit because it's not going to be able to pass in Build Back Better. And so we have some Republicans that support it. You have about 3 Republicans right now that support the child tax credit, 3 Republican senators. And Ron Johnson obviously does not support a child tax credit. And so we'll have to see that basically what you need at least 10 Republican senators to be in favor of a child tax credit and all 50 Senate Democrats to be in favor of a child tax credit in order for us to have a standalone bill like that. So we're going to have to follow that and see where it goes. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. When I heard him saying this stuff, I didn't know what to say. I had to put the video out, and I want to know what you guys think about this. You know how I feel about it. What do you guys think about it? Let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.